just mentioned to you, you can do the little aspect. If your money is also big, like 40 million, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, we have scrap for 1.5 billion, 2.5 billion. Those are vessels. Whichever level you are, you can operate in scrap. All you need is knowledge. What I always advise you against is, don't you ever step into iron and steel business when you have no knowledge. Learn it first. It will burn your hand if you have no knowledge. But if you learn it, it's quite easy and beautiful for you. So what was I saying now? You made 32,000 naira from one of them that brought 100 kilo. Take for example that 5 of them brought 100 kilo that morning. You made 32,000 times 5. 32,000 times 10 is 320,000. So 32,000 times 5 is going to be 160,000 naira that you made from these 5 people. Then the guys that brought the aluminum profiling, maybe they brought soft aluminum, maybe they brought soft aluminum now, when maybe like just 5 kilo, because that one's difficult to gather. You know, you can have so many of it and to come out like just a little kilo when you are doing the aluminum profile. Aluminum profiling is when you crush it, which you also, I'll get to the time where I can lecture you to buy the crushing machine. You understand? So that you don't load your truck with so much goods and it just comes out a little way, because it's all about way. I'm sure you saw how I went to supply the other one. I'll post the video here. You understand? You don't load the whole truck and then you go and weigh 14 tons there instead of like 28 or 30 or even 35 tons. It's very difficult to find trucks that carry 40 tons. It's always 35, 36, 37 tons, thereabout. So now, you've made 160,000 from one person, from 5 people, that came that morning. Then for the aluminum profiling, for the soft aluminum, let's say he bought 5 kilo. So you paid him 45,000 times 5 is 45,000 times 10 is 450,000 divided by 2, that is 225,000. So you expended 225,000 for the people who brought 5 kilo of that canned drink and other aluminums that look like the canned drink, those old pots and the rest of those things. Those guys know it. They even know it more than yourself. They will bring them and then you weigh them. So now you paid him 225,000 naira. Mind you, I said that 1 ton of it is 4.8 million naira as we speak. And it gets better. Sometimes you can go next month and it's now 6 point something million naira. That's how it is. When I started doing this business, that soft aluminum was nearly 2.3 million naira. We supplied at one company called Milton in Ikorodu area of Lagos. You know, that company, what they make is this non-stick pots that you guys are using now. That's what they make. So you supply, that's their raw material. You supply that aluminum, that canned drink to them, those empty canned drinks to them. So they use it to produce, as part of their raw material, to produce all these non-stick pots that you guys buy. That company is there. I have a video when I went to that company, which I would still talk about that. All right. So now you supply that to them. All right. They use that to produce these non-stick pots I'm talking about, and then they have a byproduct from that non-stick pots. A byproduct from it, from that non-stick pot, for which you will still negotiate with them to sell that byproduct to you. Now that byproduct is called white iron. That's why I said it's level by level. I'll be explaining this in some other video. You get, but for now, this one, what you need to know now is this one I'm talking about. So that stuff is that byproduct of that production, that's the waste product of that production, is called white iron, for which they will still sell it to you that supplied that particular set of raw material. They can sell it to you at something like 450,000 per ton, or let's say 500,000 per ton. You will still go and sell it like you first employ some women. They will come and select the iron out of it and keep the other one aside. I'll tell you where to supply the other one. I'll tell you where to supply the iron. You'll be making like up to 400 to 500,000 per ton profit from it. So, but back to what we are talking about. So recall that you've made about 160 thousand naira from the first, approximately from the first 5 guys, and then these guys at the Luminion, let's say you paid them 340,000 naira you made. 340,000 naira you made that morning from those 2 material only. I've not even talked about those that are bringing empty bottle water to you. Now, this is one day. If you make 370,000 naira one day, material that is in your yard, one day is in your yard, count that money for 1 week, count it for 2 weeks, count it for 1 month, count it for 2 months. If you made an average of 300,000 naira a day, and you make that money for 10 days, is 3 million. For 20 days in a month, is 6 million. Brother, if you're making 6 million averagely in a month in this country, yeah, you're not very up there. But the opportunities that will take you up there, you'll be able to afford them. Yes. So now you can do this for the next 2 months. Remember, with your small capital, your small 3 point something remaining in your hand is what you're using to buy, to do all this wahala, to buy all these things.